Welcome to the deep dive.
Hey there.
So, today we're digging into something that's definitely got people talking.
Yeah, what's that?
Brett Cooper's appearance on the Iced Coffee Hour. She, talked about leaving the Daily Wire.
Ah, right. I saw that making the rounds, and we're kind of filtering this through that YouTube reaction video.
Exactly. From Echoes from Above, it pulls out some key bits from the interview.
Gotcha. So the plan is to unpack her reasons, the whole transition to going independent.
And maybe clear up some misconceptions that might be floating around based on what she said.
Sounds good. Where do we start? The departure itself.
Yeah, let's jump right in there. She described leaving as like a mix of logic and intuition.
Which is interesting, right? Not just one or the other.
Definitely. But we also have to remember she mentioned an NDA.
Oh, right. The non-disclosure agreement. So there's probably stuff she just can't talk.
For sure. We're only getting part of the story, legally speaking.
Still, even with that limitation, her reflections on her time there seem pretty positive overall.
Yeah, she called creating comment section a light in her life. Hoped it connected.
That doesn't sound like someone burning bridges on the way out, creatively at least.
No, not at all. It suggests the issue wasn't necessarily the show itself or the audience. Maybe something bigger picture.
Right. She used that phrase, didn't she? The
Oh.
things that kind of run their course.
Both logically and, instinctively.
And the timing, thinking about it since last spring, decision made by last summer, it wasn't impulsive.
No, definitely sounds like something that brewed for a while, a slow realization.
Which is pretty common for these big career moves. And that reactor video, it pointed towards circumstances involving the former CEO, Jeremy Boring.
Yeah, it hinted that his behavior and maybe some behind-the-scenes stuff played a role.
So likely not one single thing, but maybe a few factors coming together.
And one factor she really hammered home was autonomy.
Ah, the desire for control.
She said the autonomy that I wanted to have was a huge thing. That really stands out in the creator space, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. For anyone who's built their own voice, their own audience, being under a larger structure, even one with resources, can start to feel, well, restrictive.
It's not just creative, is it? It's business decisions, too.
Exactly. Shaping your own brand, experimenting, making calls without needing layers of approval. That's a big draw.
And she even suggested, didn't she, that maybe, just maybe, the Daily Wire could have kept her.
Yeah, under different conditions. She mentioned things like more money, more control.
Less BS, I think was the quote.
Right. And, significantly, maybe a different CEO.
So it wasn't necessarily about one specific salary number?
Seems not. More about the overall environment, the terms, as she put it. Feeling valued, having agency.
Yeah, that makes sense. And framing it as a natural ending suggests she felt it was the right time, the right move for her.
A sense of closure, maybe? Okay, so what about after? Life post-Daily Wire.
Right, the flip side. She was pretty candid about the challenges, said the hardest part was not knowing what I didn't know.
The unknown unknowns.
Yes,
especially on the business and tech side, right?
Exactly. That's a big hurdle when you go solo.
It really is. You go from having this whole infrastructure ads, editing, legal, taxes.
To suddenly having to figure all that out yourself or hire people to figure it out.
It's a massive shift in skill set and responsibility.
And that connects to another point she made, which I thought was important, addressing misconceptions.
About the support hosts get there.
Yeah. This idea that maybe she or Matt Walsh or Michael Knowles were just reading scripts handed to them.
Right. She pushed back on that, said she wrote every episode of her show, drove its creation.
Just like she believes her former colleagues do, it suggests they had significant input even within the DW structure.
Which is a key distinction.
Yeah.
They were creators within the company, not just performers.
But going independent means adding that whole business layer on top.
Totally. Moving from, a W-2 employee where stuff like taxes and ad sales are handled.
To dealing with 1099s, business expenses, hiring, finding your own sponsors. It's a whole different world.
And the finances changed dramatically, relying mainly on ads, sponsorships, maybe platforms like Locals.
Yeah, it's not that steady paycheck anymore. Your income is much more directly tied to performance and hustle.
Definitely more risk, but also potentially more reward if you make it work. Requires serious business savvy.
What struck me, too, was her tone towards her former colleague.
Yeah, she seemed genuinely positive.
Right, very much so. Wish the Daily Wire well, specifically mentioned Matt, Alyssa, Michael Knowles, Ben Shapiro.
Made it clear her leaving wasn't about personal animosity towards them.
Right. And she even contrasted her exit, which seemed pretty amicable on the surface.
With Candace Owens's, which she described as more volatile and public.
It just shows that these separations can happen in very different ways for different reasons.
Yeah, it's not always acrimonious. Professional relationships can end while personal respect remains. Each situation is unique.
Okay, one last piece from the sources, the reaction to comments section now.
With the new host, Reagan Conrad. What did the reactor say?
Well, Echoes from Above was not impressed, to put it mildly.
Oh.
Yeah, called it a really significant drop in quality compared to when Brett was hosting. Expressed real disappointment.
Wow. That's strong feedback. Obviously just one viewer's take, but
it highlights how much impact a host can have on a show's identity, right? And how personally viewers connect with a specific host's style.
absolutely. That connection is hard to replicate.
So if we pull this all together, Brett Cooper's move seems like it was, well, pretty calculated but also intuitive.
Driven by that desire for more control, more autonomy, and just feeling like it was the right moment.
And it also sort of pushes back on the idea that DW hosts maybe don't have much creative freedom while they're there.
Yeah, it suggests they're driving their own content quite a bit, but her experience since leaving
Really underlines the business side, the technical hurdles, the financial management, like the stuff you don't always think about when you just see the final product.
It's that classic trade-off.
Yeah.
You get the freedom, but you also get all the responsibility, building a whole media operation from the ground up.
Okay, so maybe the final thought for you, the listener, is that we see creators wanting more freedom, more control, especially in today's media world where there are more options.
Right. But Brett Cooper's experience highlights the other side, the sheer complexity of running your own independent show, your own business.
So what does her journey tell us about that balance between creative desire and operational reality?
And maybe, what does it suggest for media companies trying to hold on to top talent? How do they navigate those desires for autonomy versus the structure they provide?
Definitely something to chew on. Thanks for diving in with us today.